How's motherhood been? Right, so the next question is, am I a single mother? I addressed that at the very beginning. Yes, I am. And best and worst things I have experienced as a mother. Yeah, season 2 is going to be a little bit more emotional, but I hope a little more helpful as well. Okay. Hello, Unscripted family, and welcome back to season 2 of Unscripted. And I'm back here as your host, Ulwa Ntunu, and I missed you guys so much. Motherhood has been probably, I don't want to be so negative, but I do want to be very real. I would say the worst roller coaster of my life. I wouldn't change a thing about my journey. A while ago, I would have changed anything about my journey. Would I be able to help people who are probably going through the same thing or worse? No. So my pain has purpose. My pain is God serving. My pain is unfortunately, but fortunately God approved. And will be shaping destinies. Hello, Unscripted family, and welcome back to season 2 of Unscripted. And I'm back here as your host, Ulwa Ntunu, and I missed you guys so much. I've been feeling guilty for not being on this couch. As you can see, things are a little different. I just wanted to make it a little bit better, right? And we are only going to get better from here going onward, okay? Going forward. So I hope you guys like the new setup. It is a work in progress. Ideas are very much accepted and welcome. But for now, this is what we're working with, right? As you can see, I'm sitting alone, unfortunately. I shot this episode already. And right now, I'm working against time, I'm working against lighting, because I really do prefer natural lighting for my space in this current moment. So, let's like sweet people would say. But we're just gonna go on. Excuse me. So I'm gonna work on. I was sitting here with a friend of mine. Lesedi, you guys have met him before, but unfortunately, I had a mic error. These are also quite new, so I couldn't continue with that. I'll show you a clip we tried. But I will go through the questions, some of the questions that Lesedi and I went through, some of the questions that he asked. I'm going to try to be as honest, as vulnerable, and as transparent this season because like I said, I really want you guys to get to know me. But I'm gonna go through some of his questions. The reason I started a podcast, which is one of the questions that you asked me, is because I found podcasts as my healing platform, right? Because I'm a homebody. I'm always alone. I'm an only child, so I'm not used to speaking to anyone. Being alone doesn't affect me much because I grew up alone, right? So it doesn't affect me much. Um, but the older you grow, the more things you need to talk about. But you learn to cope on your own. You learn to cope alone, right? But there's certain things I needed insight on, and just hearing different people's perspectives and just hearing that you're not the only one who has problems was really a light in my life. And so I was like, why don't I sit down and talk about my own experiences as well? You never know who's listening. You never know who needs to hear about it, right? And that's why we're here. Season 2 is going to be a little bit more emotional, but I hope a little more helpful as well. I'm reaching out to single moms like myself. Yes, that is what I am. And accepting that status has been something that's been very hard for me, but it's something that I'm going to do because that is the reality of my life and the reality of a lot of women's lives, right? And we're going to talk about it because it's something that happens. It's a real thing. It's life. Okay. So one of the questions that the city asked me is, how am I? How am I actually doing? Days are not the same, but for the most part, I am good. All thanks to God. And this is just one of the things I just want to put out there, that when you don't have your friends, when you don't have internet service to reach out and um, get yourself a podcast or listen to a podcast, or if you don't, excuse me, if you don't have anyone to talk to, I would I would recommend God, because there is a scripture that I'm currently meditating on all the time, and that is the book of Philippians, chapter 4, verse 6. And it says, I don't want to misquote, I don't know why in Bali element, you know, but we'll look at it. 4, 6. It reads as follows. Oh no. I was waiting for the Holy Scripture, some guys. It says, do not be anxious about anything, but in everything, with prayer and supplication, make your requests known to God. And then in verse 7 it says, and the peace of God, which surpasses all understanding, will guard your hearts in Christ Jesus. Right? The peace of God, which surpasses all understanding. All understanding. You cannot understand how you are peaceful in the midst of a storm. You cannot understand how you are at peace in the midst of a crisis and in the midst of everything falling apart, in the midst of everything breaking down, in the midst of everything seeming like it's not happening for you. And what I am in constant pursuit of is the peace of God. It's indescribable. So that is what I'm in constant pursuit of, and that's what gives me joy. So yeah, just to sum it up, family, I'm good. I'm good, and thank you for being here and for caring, really. And the second question, one of the other questions that Leslie asked me is, how's motherhood been? Sorry, guys, there's a lot going on here. How's motherhood been? Motherhood has been the probably, I don't want to be so negative, but I do want to be very real. But I would say the worst roller coaster of my life. The reason why I don't want to say worst is because some days are extremely amazing and fulfilling, and I feel like I'm living within my purpose. Now, how can living within my purpose be such a bad thing? I was literally ripped out of my comfort zone, and I knew that it would do that. And before it happened, I thought, I believed in my heart of hearts that it is something that I'd be grateful for, right? Because I just wanted to find my purpose so bad. And I guess it's because I was really crashing before I was a mom. And I knew what motherhood would do for my life. I am a server at heart. I love to serve people. And sometimes to my very own detriment, which is one thing that I'm working on. Right? But I'm a server at heart. It brings me so much joy to do something for someone else, whether I am huge. I am absolutely huge on acts of service. That is one of my greatest love languages, because I will do for you what I can do for you. So can you imagine a person like me having the role of a mom, whereas I get to do for someone. I get to do for someone and not worry about it coming back to bite me in the back. Like, it's just, there's no worry, you know. However, the reason why it's been like a really, really tough roller coaster to be on, for lack of a better word, is because I had to forcefully get out of my shell, forcefully get out of my little cocoon, forcefully heal. And not just heal from the fact that I am not even living in the family uh, dynamic that I wanted for myself and my child and with the husband and all of that. um, I'm not only healing from that and everything that's come with that. I had a horrible pregnancy, to be quite honest. um, I'm not just healing from that, I'm healing from things of my past. I'm healing from childhood traumas. I am trying to address, confront, redress my childhood traumas. And I need to, in the midst of that, like, there's no time to, like, you don't have a day or two to sleep it off because you're sad. You need to wake up and, perform acts of service for someone else. I feel like I should have prayed before this episode. I really should have, because I it gets heavy. But that's definitely why it's been tough. It it's been forceful. It's been forceful. But on the bright side, it has been the most fulfilling feeling. And for this reason, because I know how fulfilling it is, I would always recommend that women really want children and really work on themselves first before they have children, so that the pain that comes with that transition from just being yourself to being a mom is worth it. Or it'll always be worth it, but at least feels worth it. I hope I'm making sense. I hope that that pain of transitioning from being yourself and only you to being someone for someone else is worth it, because there's nothing cute about that transition. Nothing at all is cute about that transition, right? So I hope that's helpful. But that's motherhood in a nutshell. That is definitely what I would quote motherhood as in a nutshell. It's one of the most selfless things that you could ever do. It is the most, I want to say, godly, but I do believe that I've come 10 times closer to God becoming a mom. And I think that we're in this world. I tell this to myself all the time. I think that we are in this world to understand God more, because if God is so hateful of sin, then why put us here as sinners? I think that the purpose is pursuit of holiness. So it's your heart leading you to the right place, and the freedom of choice with a very, very deep prayer that you choose right, that has brought you here, that it has you here. And it's supposed to teach us a little bit more about who God is. So the minute you make a right decision and you put in a situation and you make the right decision, you learn a little bit more about who God is in that moment. The minute you suffer from pain, you learn a little bit more about what God endures in that moment. When you suffer from rejection, because we reject God all the time, you learn a little bit more about how God feels and who God is in that moment. When you suffer from, when you struggle, or rather when you're put in a situation where you have to forgive someone, excuse me, you learn a little bit more about who God is in that moment. Which is why when we say the Lord's Prayer, we say, and forgive us our trespasses as we forgive those who trespass against us. The minute we choose to forgive other people, we grow closer to God, and we learn a little bit more about who God is. There's nothing easy about being God, and quite frank, I respect him more and more each and every day because of who he is. I respect Jesus so much each and every day because of who Christ has made me to be and what I'm in constant pursuit of. Am I perfect? Far from it. No, I'm not. Do I make mistakes? Yes. Do I make bad decisions? Yes. Am I the best person all the time? No. Do I hurt people? Yes. But I don't crucify myself because I don't crucify other people either. I want to, and sometimes I attack people, including, people who've hurt me, and sometimes I think it's justified, but in my heart of hearts, I know that those people are just trying to navigate the same way I am, and God expects me to forgive them, and I am not above God to not forgive people. I've just given myself grace and time, and I think that I deserve that. I deserve grace and I deserve time. And I will not crucify myself because I will not crucify someone else either. And I believe that I deserve that grace. And another thing is that the minute you're put in a furnace and you burn, the minute you make mistakes and you are forgiven, the minute you take a wrong 10 and you're redirected, you learn a little thing called um, sympathy. No, you learn a little thing called empathy. You know how to empathize with people because you've kind of sort of been in their shoes. Right. So I open my Instagram and something pops up about someone's baby mama. I hate that term. Sounds derogatory to me, but you open up your page and you see someone acting a certain type of way and you've been there. You're not promoting it. You see people judging them because what they're doing probably is wrong, but you know how to give them grace because you've probably been that person, but you know what led you there. So you know what could have led that person there. People don't wake up crazy, and that's to say to all the single moms out there who have been, stuck and with this negative connotation of what being a mom, a single mom is, and that horrible baby mama term. I understand you and I can give you grace, but I think what's important is that you give that to yourself. Don't stay in that place though. And you're not expected to change in a day, but do give yourself some grace and try your best to be in constant, oh my goodness, constant pursuit of being better. Right. So yes, I was basically saying, Oguti, I gotta constantly check my mic, sorry. I was just saying, Oguti, I, I I was saying, Wuti, that is what God is. Like we are here to be in constant pursuit of righteousness, of holiness, in constant pursuit of God. Right? It's your heart that matters, not your actions. Not your actions. Your actions have consequences. But what was your heart guiding you to do when that happened? You constantly need to be checking your heart. I get told that all the time, by the way. That's an English wimp. But a sikolab. That's another thing. Don't let other people define you when you know your heart and you know what God has called you to be. Some people have a sour taste of who you are. It happens. Not people don't receive us the same, and that's also because they don't come at us the same. They don't come into our lives at the same time, at a perfect time. We have made mistakes. We are definitely not perfect. And you know your heart. There are people around you who know your heart, who give you grace. You deserve grace. If Jesus has given you that grace, then you need to give yourself grace. No, you're not perfect, but you're in constant pursuit to be better. And that's why we're here, right? So if someone has a bitter taste of who you are a bit, it happens. It honestly happens, Mandasi. It happens. Mzalwane, it happens. Don't beat yourself up for um for making mistakes, for not being the best version of yourself, for not always showing up 100%. Sometimes you show up as 80%, 40%, 20% as yourself. And if there's a person who does not give you grace to make those mistakes and understand you and know your heart, then that person shouldn't be around you anyway. And it's okay that they feel like that. They're entitled to. It's okay. but you've got to give yourself grace. Also, you can't be psychotic forever. Coming from a person who's been psychotic, you can't be psychotic forever because that's not healthy for you. So pick yourself up. Say, see. I'm turning into a Tsonga Han because my best friend's a Tsonga. But um yeah, like do it for yourself, do it for your child. Do it for yourself firstly. I don't want to say do it for your child because a lot of women are dismissed because they're expected to remove how they feel for their children, and sometimes you don't have the strength to do that. So but if you do it for yourself, inevitably your child will have been positively impacted just by that decision alone. So do it for you. Mahlanya, once, twice, allow yourself to feel. Try to not be controlled by your feelings. My grandfather, my late grandfather, God rest his soul, Matlingwane, used to say, "Ungavumeli inhliziyo ukuthi ilawule ingqondo." So the minute you can just allow yourself to feel, like it's okay that I feel angry. I'm very angry right now. Just try to gain the self-control not to act on that anger. Don't act on that anger. All right. So the next question is, am I a single mother? I addressed that at the very beginning. Yes, I am. And best and worst things I have experienced as a mother. The best thing that I have experienced as a mother is purpose. It's drive. It's my baby girl's smile and her love. Guys, I've got the sweetest daughter. Like, was sweet. Like, she's not a mean girl. She's not a bully. You know, some babies are bullies. Oh, my daughter's so sweet. My daughter pats me. Like, when we're falling asleep, or she does this to me as well. When she sees I'm not okay, guys, she's 11 months. On my back. Oh yeah, I don't want to stick in my microphone. I don't want to disturb my microphone. She pats me. She pats me. Like, as we're falling asleep. She hugs me. Guys, my daughter kisses me. Like, I lean forward with a kiss, and she comes forward and she holds my face and she brings my face forward to kiss me. She's 11 months. Like, my love language, for sure. I've got the sweetest daughter. She wakes up and laughs. She wakes up with the biggest smile. I'm like, do I have problems? No, I do not. And I say the meanest stuff sometimes, and I speak out of turn. I tell God all the time because the tongue curses a lot. So I pray that God forgives me. And I heard something once, and it said, "Thank God that God does not make decisions based on my emotions. Thank God that He does not operate on the basis of my emotions. My life would be a wreck if He did. My life would be a wreck if He did, because motherhood has had tough days. And moms, I know I'm not the only one, so I hope I don't get bashed for this, because we need to be honest. There are moms I've heard when they'd be like, yo, when my baby would scream, bekungathi ngathatha lo mqamelo ngimvale ngawo. My other friend, before I was even a mom, she was like, yo, when she'd scream at night, bekungathi ngamthatha ngimlahlele ebondweni. And they're both doing it alone. The dads were in the picture at the time, but nothing was cute. And they were doing it by themselves. And I remember just thinking to myself, like, it's okay. It took so much strength for you not to do that. You could have reacted. And you are not in the best state as a mom. That time, fortnightly, ufika, you are. Listen to me, mama. Please listen to me. I'm talking to you when a single mom. And not even just single moms. There are a lot of moms who are in relationships, who are married, who still carry the load and the burden themselves, because not most men are not understanding. If you've got a very understanding partner who's very supportive and holds it down for you and is emotionally equipped to handle your emotions and your baggage, you are blessed. But to all the mothers who do not, in fact, let me complete that sentence. You are blessed, and and you are deserving. So never feel guilty for being grateful for that. You are 1,000%. You deserve that treatment. That's for you, queen. You know. But to the mothers who don't, to the mothers who don't have that support, single mothers, or mothers who are married but feel like single mothers, people who are single mothers in their marriages and their relationships, to all you mamas with partners who are struggling emotionally, or to all you mamas with nobody else, to all you mamas who are doing this with your parents, with your extended family, with your gogos, with your whoever's who's helping you, to all you mamas who don't even have that help, you're in a foreign city or a foreign country and you're all alone, you don't even have family to help you, to all you mamas who are doing this on your own, you pushed out a baby, you likely have stitches. If you don't have those vaginal stitches, you have stitches on your stomach. You're healing from a C-section. And whatever you got injected on your spinal cord, that wore off, and you can barely walk, and you're healing from that for the next month or two. And you wake up every 2 hours. I know I did. If I had at least 4 hours of sleep, I know that that was by the grace of God. So you're not expected to be grumpy when you don't even have 2-3 hours of sleep. You do that. You feed them. If you're breastfeeding, your nipples are cracked. If you didn't have a nipple like I did, there was pus coming out of there. You were in physical pain. You were sleep deprived. Your hormones were all over the place, and you, to this day, do not understand them. You are rejected. You are neglected. You are feeling like you're in a foreign body. You see your stomach is stretched out. You probably have a couple of stretch marks. You've got a flappy tummy. You still have a swollen uterus. You are bleeding, postpartum bleeding, healing from stitches, obesity, surgical spirits trying to make sure that you don't get infections. Some of you do get infections. Some of your pregnancies or your birthing experiences were complicated. I'm not even going to go to moms who have given birth to stillborn babies and are trying to recover, and you've got an unsupportive partner who does not understand that you are not in the right space in that moment, nor are you yourself. If you were able to reason rationally before and that you're struggling to do it now and nobody is understanding you and you're in constant pain and you're expected to show up for someone when you can barely show up for yourself, mama, you are a superhero. And I am so sorry that no one else sees it. But God does. And I know that He can't answer to it right now. You know a little more about God than most people, my love. You know just a little more about God than most people, because in that pain you are still unconditionally loving this stranger who did nothing to be loved by you except breathe. That's all they did to be loved by you. They just took a breath. The same way Yahweh, God bless, loves you just for breathing. Stand-sam. God loves you just because you're alive, just because you're breathing. Whether you're sinning and you're doing that, or you're screaming as a baby, your baby's screaming, they're vomiting, they're puking on you, they're taking a dump, they're waking up every hour, they don't sleep during the day, they want to be up all night. They only sleep during the day. They want to be up at night. Your house is a mess. You're worried about the fact that you haven't been cleaning. You're sitting in a pigsty. You are eating trash or not eating at all. You can't cook. You can't get back on your feet. You're worried about getting an income because women have to work on top of all of that. You're swollen. You're this. You're that. You're up. You're down. You're sideways. You're left. You're right. And someone says you're overreacting for believing, for feeling how you're feeling. You're overreacting for being a little personal. You're overreacting from struggling to heal with the fact that you're a single mom and someone wants to choose someone else over you who's been hurt. And it's okay. Freedom of choice. Um, we should all have it, you know? But I'm saying, if you show up as crazy once, twice, 10 times, 100 times on your journey to healing, I'm not going to judge you. Just don't stay in that place. Let's get rid of the stereotype. And let's get it right. You're a superhero. You're a superhero, mama. I should probably post this on Women's Day or something. I'll repost. And I am sorry. I can't heal your pain. I can't fast track your healing. I can't control your anger. I can't change the situation for you. I can't make you heard. You can't even make you heard. Doesn't matter how much you scream. In fact, stop the screaming because that's when people don't hear you the most. People hear you in your silence. People hear you in your subtlety. That's when you're heard. Fewer words. That's a lesson I'm teaching myself. And I hope my therapist is so proud of me. I'm going to send her a link to this. But yes, the question was the best thing, the best thing I've experienced as a mom. And I think I've already mentioned the worst, to be quite honest. All those postpartum stuff, the hormones I struggled to control them. Obviously, the dealing with a breakup in the midst of your motherhood journey is supposed to be the most beautiful journey of your life. Having to not be understood, crying, begging to be understood, and just not. It's okay. Yeah, those are probably the worst things that I've experienced as a mom. Finding my identity again and not being resentful just because I'm a mom. Resenting my current life because I'm mourning my old one. A life of freedom. We should open a women's forum, like a single moms club, or not even just single moms, everyone mom, all moms, you know, because I don't want it to seem like moms who have the support don't have the right to go through things. They also go through stuff. Grateful that they've got the support, you know. But some people could have it all and they lack. And I just pray that they find Jesus and they pray about it as well. Because sometimes if you've got it all and you still have something that's missing inside of you, it's probably Him. Yahweh. Okay. Is there anything that I would change? No. That sounds like a cliche answer. I wouldn't change a thing about my journey. A while ago, I would have changed everything about my journey. And another things that contribute to my crash out, because I have them, is the forceful taking back of time that I wish that I could do. And it makes me lose my mind. But I'm an entrepreneur and a podcaster trying to build a healing platform because of my pain as well. Would I have as much drive to do it if I didn't go through what I went through? No. Would I be able to help people who are probably going through the same thing or worse? No. So my pain has purpose. My pain is God serving. My pain is unfortunately, but fortunately, God approved and will be shaping destinies. So no, I wouldn't change a thing. I I am blessed. Don't worry about me. Ngawari guys, wonke umuntu nenkinga, wonke umuntu uyagowa, wonke umuntu has whatever it is that they're going through. And don't ever invalidate yourself and think people have it worse and you don't invalidate yourself. If you are feeling how you're feeling, it's very much valid. Let's just constantly be in pursuit to be better. Let's figure out the lesson. Let's figure out the redirection because those are redirections. If this is not going to work out for you, then something else will. So allow God to redirect your life and just sometimes be still. Get away from the noise, step into your zone, and just try to listen. What is God saying to you? I hope we navigate life. I hope we heal. I hope we help others. There's a reason why we have community, and my community, God bless their souls, have been, oh, my godsends. All right. And yeah, I wouldn't know how to live without them. So I truly believe that that is also them living in their purpose. And I'm living in mine because I am also something to someone, right? So that's just the purpose of it. That's the purpose of your pain. Yeah. Anyway, unscripted family, that was the last question. I would like to thank you so much for tuning into today's episode. I hope I didn't have sound issues because that's what happened last time. And the city works during the week, so I can't even get him to do this with me again because our schedules clash quite a bit. Shout out Vladdy, we call him Vladimir Putin, for just always availing yourself. And unfortunately, he couldn't be here, but I will put maybe a snippet or two of the things that he had asked me. Maybe. A big shout out to other podcasts that you can watch. Because we all hear about the healing. It's not just about this platform, but other platforms that could possibly help you. Platforms that have helped me is The Max by Lerato and Petula Mageta, Mr. and Mrs. Max, Mr. and Mrs. Mageta. That platform has healed me. You can watch a very nice episode with GC Bukele that they have on their platform, and a couple of other episodes. The episodes are extremely uplifting. You can also go to Bumila Dava's platform. Her podcast is Wisdom and Wellness. Sorry, I almost forgot Wisdom and Wellness. Already by the name, you can tell that it's great. And you can also listen to On Purpose by Jay Shetty. This is literally just me. I'm not even promoting platforms. I am promoting healing. And the great book, of course, I can't leave here without promoting the Bible. There's so many stories in the Bible that will really uplift you, and books in the Bible that will uplift you. I would recommend reading the book of Job. In fact, the Bible is something that I feel that you can prescribe to yourself and just find direction in accordance to your situation. But if you read the book of Job and just see that people really do suffer, look at what Job went through, even with the people that were around him, even after his losses. You listen to Job's prayers and how he would speak to the Lord, but still constantly in loss. You will see that you're not alone. Um, yeah, yeah. Go read the Bible. I listen to gospel. I'm constantly in worship if I struggle, because sometimes I struggle to read my Bible properly. But if I start with worship, then I can go into devotion. So that's another recommendation from me. But anyway, we are going way above time. I'd just like to sit here and thank you for tuning in. I hope I didn't bore you to death. Please remember to tell your friends, to tell their friends, to tell their friends to subscribe to the channel. And I pray that this gives you healing. I pray that this platform gives you healing. All right, and you're doing great. This was for moms, mostly single moms, but hopefully it touches someone else, and hopefully throughout the season, we 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 get through other parts of life that are a little difficult to navigate. The reason the show is called Unscripted is because that's exactly what life is. There is no script. There's only a guiding book, which is the Bible, and we can get our guidance from there, but we do not know how God thinks. We do not know what He's thinking about. We just know that He's all love. But literally, this is the most unpredictable journey that we will ever go through, and it's the most unscripted show of our lives. It is our lives. So that's why this platform is called exactly that. We'll be addressing a lot more. But until then, please just stay tuned in. Please share this video, share the platform, help me get more subscribers, and we can push. We will get a better studio, better equipment. Um, but that's only if you help me push this platform. Right. Thank you, Unscripted family, for joining today's chat, and I sincerely hope to see you next time. Don't forget to like and share this video. Subscribe. Okay, love you. Bye.